Welcome back, my little fellas. We're gonna be approaching this activity about speaking with this teacher called Julian Negri in the subject of English. And I'm Hector Fuentes from D112 Group, electromechanics engineer, and we're gonna be discussing right now this activity about vacations. Yeah, and the I'm gonna go down immediately. And the first question is, where do you go? I was going in kind of the same department, nearby here in the city. We were like, and my dad was, man, I'm enrolling this thing right now. I'm pretty nervous because it's my first video. It's my first time recording this. We're going to this little bell town called Puerto Wilches that is pretty nearby Barranca Bermeja. And I was yeah. And the second question is, how do you go and how was the trip? I was going on a bus, and the trip was pretty cool, to be honest. But yeah. Where do you go with? I was going with my father because my father was like, "Hey, wanna come here to my crib?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" It would be pretty funny because he was fixing a crane. And I was like, I'm gonna go down with that stuff. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna be interacting with mechanics and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, pretty interesting. Damn. Give me just a sec. And what activities do you go during those days? What do you like the most? My dad was pretty sick of me because I was being a burden, and he was like, man, get out. And he was like, when I go with my daughter, and I was like, you have a daughter around? And he was like, yeah, it's pretty nearby, just crossing the river, that's it. And the little bill town was like called San Pablo Bolivar. I was in the department of Bolivar, I was in other department, I was like, oh. And I got to know my sister, other people, kind of like I didn't even know where my relatives, and I was like, it was pretty interesting by the end of the day. And I was getting to know the place, the culture, the food. It was pretty cool. The food was pretty expensive because I'm a tourist. Because I was like, I was white, and there were people like pretty black, and they're like kind of looking at me for like a tourist. He was like taxing me for a simple thing, taxing me a lot of money. And it was a pretty nice camp. And do you like the vacation? Yeah, it was pretty cool because I was going out of my comfort zone and my new thing, doing the same thing over and over again. And it was pretty cool. Yeah, I would say that was pretty cool, but the place wasn't the right one. But yeah, it was a pretty cool place. I like it. Sixth one. Describe the people for the places. I kind of covered that point not in the last in point like right before. The people was pretty warm, was pretty like yeah, the people was pretty cool, the food was pretty expensive, kind of tropical one like fish and just little Latin. And the places, for tourist places was pretty cool. The people were like so authentic with me. Yeah, it was pretty cool. How much money did you spend in the last vacation? I wasn't the one who was spending money. It was my dad. My dad was like taking care of the expenses, and I was consuming like a dumbass. But yeah, there's a little. Okay, but my dad was like spending like 100 key in Colombian pesos, totally. 100, 200 key in like transport, food, the hotel, giving money out to people, like so. And how much? And the question tells me, do you have any problems during the vacation? No, actually no. The people was pretty cool, places, and I was getting bored. I think it was a problem because I was like going to the workshop with my dad, who was fixing the crane, and I was being like useless there because I didn't even know the subject. I was like just sitting around and like doing anything, pretty much like eating and playing around with the phone inside a car that he was fixing as well. but I wasn't doing anything. That was the reason he was like getting to, he was like, okay, you know what, go and get to know your sister. I was like, okay. How do you feel when you vacation? Sorry. How do you feel when your vacation was over? Pretty cool. But if you're gonna go like into much detail, I was feeling like I'm gonna be out. It was a pretty cool vacation, but I have to go back. I have to get things done. I have to get my life enrolled back. I was feeling like pretty like nostalgia about I'm gonna go back to my city, Bucaramanga. I was missing my city during that trip. I was like was a whole week spending in that place, a whole week. But it was pretty cool. But the only thing that I hate about it was the weather. It was like the temperature was so the heat. Just the sun was trying to kill you. I'm proving my point. The sun was trying to kill you, and that's it. That's the whole activity. I think I'm done. Yeah, I pre-approached the whole questions, and yeah, bro. If you're watching this, or someone else is watching this, I hope you have a cool day. And if you're pretty impressed about my accent, cool. But I'm here. Anyone could do it. Anyone could learn English. I'm a dumbass. I'm pretty stupid. I'm pretty dealing with engineer, and I'm not even able to handle that. I was trying to to like. I won't do it. I won't do it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna grind so hard. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go through it, and do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.